Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Matt
and
Rubik
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, bringing you and sponsoring
Friday,
and we're very proud to do that.
Who would have thought you'd get your very own day, Michael? You couldn't imagine that, I reckon, when you started up Bullion Now from these humble beginnings.
You should have seen the paperwork and the money that had to change hands on that one. Unbelievable.
We're still going through the process of getting it added to all the calendars. And, very extensive process.
Set up all the copyright stuff.
That's right.
At it again. This is one where I will give it to you. It's been a big week. There's been a lot happening.
Having said that, I reckon I was more exhausted last week at this point than I am this week. Maybe I still got a bit of adrenaline from Sidley.
Yeah, so I'm knackered and I was only there for a day.
Jason's happy you're sitting in your correct positions.
Me too. It feels like, it's like riding a bike. Comfortable again. It's going to be a good stream. I've got a good feeling about this one.
And a couple of people happy we're actually starting relatively close to one time.
Yeah, well, we cracked the whip and finally got Ruben organised.
Yeah, he got himself organised.
The times Michael's most direct about things like that is the times that he is the one holding us up. That's
the general giveaway.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
If it is actually me, he normally falls on his sword and goes, "Sorry guys, it was me."
Oh dear. So we got I'm going to butcher that one, but Daka from Romania.
Oh wow.
Tuning in. That's possibly the first Romanian we've had tune in
that we know of.
I think I might have seen someone before, but
What's the time over there? Come on, Michael, you should know this.
Oh, give me a break.
I'll imagine you were flying over there.
I'd get out Google.
Righto. Well, let us know what the time is to tune in Romania.
Yeah. It's good to see Andrew made it home after the Sydney conference. He was, you'd have to say he was unpaid BN staff.
Absolutely.
Up at Sydney. He was pitched in and
definitely gave us a big hand a few times.
Played security for us and
that's what you like to see.
Yeah, did all sorts of things. So
7:30 in the morning in Romania.
It's not that bad.
That's pretty early. I guess
probably a bit
for
before
you,
your
lunchtime.
And we've got a few people there talking about their attendance in Sydney. We've got Dean there. Special shout out to Dean for the little gift you gave me. Much appreciated.
Very kind.
Hang on. Who's bribing my staff?
No. We got taken care of last year.
Okay.
There we go. Ozspringer there. And I think a few other people that have... there was a few people in the comments on the stream that were thanking us for doing it digitally and via remote.
Yeah, that seemed to work pretty well. And it's I think that's also in line with sort of our typical live stream organisation.
Chaos?
Yeah, because when we turned up at the event, and I chuckled as soon as Ruben came out and said... Yeah, none of it's been set up. I thought, so it's a standard live stream.
It wasn't my fault, that one. Full communication with Kerry over that one. I don't know what happened.
Well, you do tend to get that on the bigger jobs, but you pulled it off and it seems to have all come together nicely.
Yeah.
So,
it was good. It was 300 or something. The guys up in Sydney were saying had tuned into the live stream at some point.
Really?
Yeah, I think I saw about 240, 250.
Yeah, okay.
And
that's good.
Obviously afterwards it's been up there, and I think in our top 7 or something streams of all time. So.
Still haven't cracked the 300, mate.
Maybe in Perth. If we do something in Perth, maybe it'll be the magic.
We didn't talk about live streaming Perth, did we?
Well, we'll probably do it on the flight over, and we'll start planning. And by the time we land, we'll have something ready to go.
Flight over, the Uber.
To the Mint. So for those that are unaware, often we tend to do things very spur of the moment because
we're not disorganised.
Yeah, we just get bright ideas and we act upon them in a timely manner.
Yeah, that's the one.
But a lot of that happened in Sydney. But I guess that's what we'll start with. So for those that are watching that are unaware as to what we keep referencing, there was a gold conference in Sydney this week.
It was.
And specifically a Monday night information evening sponsored by Bullion Now.
It was free for everyone except me.
Yeah.
And for me, it actually cost a flaming lot of money just quietly, but that's all right. Look, I seem to talk about this semi-frequently when I was in Sydney. educate, like we set up Bullion Now, absolutely it's a business. There's no two ways about it. We're there to make a profit. But one of the really important things for us when we set it up was to educate. We really wanted to get the education out there, and it was the perfect medium and platform for it. Having a bullion shop, being able to talk to people about it, starting a YouTube channel, and getting behind things like the Monday night of Sydney, of the Gold Conference, is really good because it gives that non-threatening environment to actually start educating, you, your family, your friends, rather than dragging out your couple of kilos of gold and saying, look at this, and setting yourself up as a target. You can say, going along to this thing tonight, you want to come with me, and we'll learn about bullion together. And it's really good, and it takes a lot of the mystery out of it, and the mystique that bullion dealers tend to try and hide behind with fancy words and descriptions and things that really mean nothing special. And it just, like I said, provides that platform for education. So we're really proud to get behind that sort of stuff. And it was a good night.
Yeah, very well attended. It was a big event. I mentioned that to Kerry, that it's, I don't know if there's a specific cause, but it seems to be that this is our third year at that event, and it seems to have grown continually each time, and more people are asking more and more, I guess, interesting questions. And you can tell based on some of the questions that we received directly from people after the event that people are really starting to take notice of this stuff and thinking deeply about it. It was, some of the questions that we received were a lot more, I guess, detailed than your standard, how do you buy this stuff? So it's very good to see that, some of this stuff seems to be landing. Yeah, so absolutely. It was really nice.
So it was a great night, lots of great people on the panel, lots of great conversations afterwards.
Yeah.
It was flat out. Not enough food because I didn't get any, but there again, I didn't stop talking till after 10 o'clock. So that probably had something to do with it as well.
Yeah, we need to layer that in next time. Dinner component.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's the other thing. Yeah, that's not uncommon. When we get going, you sort of forget about all of those, basic human needs like food.
Yeah. It was funny afterwards, and I was very thankful for Nate afterwards because, we're staggering out of the Crown, and I was done. Like, I was completely shattered. I'd been going since even earlier in the morning than I normally start, and by, I don't know what time we left, 10:30. And all I wanted to do was go to bed.
Yeah.
So Nate just grabbed my Amex and said, how about I take the boys out for dinner and you head off to the hotel. So I shot off and I skipped tea altogether and just went to bed. It was so good.
Yeah.
But then we had the other 2 days as well, and they were good.
Yeah. Well, I missed out on those. So fill us in. What was the take home from it?
Lots of good conversations. Lots of Bullion Now families stuck around for it, which was great to see. And we had a lot of really good conversations. I appeared in a couple of panels and, did a keynote and that sort of stuff. And it was good because a lot of that conference is skewed towards the mining set. And it was interesting. And the Monday night, I don't know if people picked up on this, but it kind of carried through for the whole 3 days. But Monday night, Nick Farr-Jones actually threw me because we were talking up the front on the panel, and he kind of stopped everyone and he went, hang on a sec. So you actually sell physical gold?
That bit was so funny.
Yeah. I'm thinking, what's he think I'm doing here? And he goes, and people actually buy it and pick it up from you and take it home.
And physically own it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking, hang on, your company finances gold miners. What do you think they do with it after they dig it out of the ground? Just leave it lying around somewhere?
Turn it into paper.
So, but that seemed to be, there was a fair component there on the Tuesday and the Wednesday of people that went, you can buy physical.
Yeah.
I'd never realised. And you think, what? So, yeah, it was good to get that out there and have good conversations about that. It was in one of the keynotes I did. I got Kate, who was up there with us, one of the BN staff, to walk around the auditorium where I was talking, and actually she had 2 ounces of gold in one hand and a kilo of silver in the other. And the number of people that, were saying, oh, wow, haven't had this, haven't held it before. And these are people that invest in gold and silver, like mines and ETFs and that sort of stuff. And they'd never actually physically touched the stuff before.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, very good.
And one of the other things that I thought was really good, and I was actually thinking up there, I should mention this on the live stream, and we should promote it a bit again next year, if we get invited to go. And that's that there's very few places where you can front up and talk to the managing director of an ASX listed company, and actually say to them, tell me about your company, tell me about the results you're getting, tell me this, tell me that. And you're actually dealing with the managing director, or the CEO, or the chief financial officer, or the head of mining, or the chemical engineer, or the guys that are actually at the top of the food chain are there, and they're manning the stands.
Yeah.
So there's not too many places you can wander around and actually bump into those sort of people. So it was really good. I thought it was really worthwhile.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it'd be interesting.
Do a poll.
A poll.
Yeah.
If you were either there or you tuned into any of the live streams, tell us if you thought it was worthwhile. Because it's not. The Monday night was free, but the attendance was a couple of $100 for a ticket, which, as Andrew said to me, I talked to one of the companies there last year, bought their shares, and the increase in price well and truly paid for the amount it cost me to turn up. So that
is not financial advice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it was good to see. So, well, one person said yes.
Yeah, very good.
There's been a few questions and comments going through whilst we've been talking about that. David has arranged for a parcel to be coming through to you, Michael, but only to you, which I think indicates what was in it. Because I think last time they kind of disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Say no more.
When that arrives, straight into the safe until I get to it.
And a few other people asking how Matt managed to sneak past security after the pool incident from a couple of years ago.
With great difficulty. That's the benefit of getting there nice and early. You sneak in, blend into the background.
And he's pretty small. We could fit him in a box.
Yeah.
They also changed his name tag for a bit just to get him through. No one noticed him sneaking through as Alex. It was good.
Couple of eagle-eyed people noticed that from the video.
They
I don't even think Michael noticed that I'd changed my name. But
no, I didn't pick up. I heard about it later.
Yeah, for the most part, which was good.
Oh, the Perth Mint chocolate bars. Did you get plenty of those?
Yeah. Like, on my way out. And the problem is now we know that we've since found out that there are a few staff members that watch this, so I need to be careful with what we reveal. I may or may not have loaded up my pockets on the way out on Monday. I figured, well, I'm missing the rest of the conference. I need to bring some of the conference back to enjoy on the couch at home.
It's WA chocolate, and it's branded. They can take it as a compliment.
It is such good chocolate. Whoever they're getting to produce those, don't ever change suppliers.
Perth Mint produce an incredible product in their gold and silver and platinum, but their chocolate, I would crawl over broken glass for.
We have one here.
Yeah, it's
a box. That's an old one. This was last year's.
We're not keeping that.
Mate, you don't think it'll last
the others, I was going to say, this feels about the same weight as mine at home.
Oh,
but they are very cool.
Oh, they're just, if you ever manage to get hold of a Perth Mint chocolate bar, grab it. Yeah. Don't let anyone take it off you and run. Maybe
we'll do some live taste testing on the tour of the Perth Mint.
Oh, we should
in September. I'm shooting myself in the foot. I was going to say, I'll pretend I've never had one and say, can I try one of these?
I'm not going to say who else had chocolate there, but we'd never do BN chocolate there because you taste the Perth Mint stuff and you go, wow, this is great. You taste anyone else's and it really doesn't taste very good at all when you compare it, and so people start wondering about the quality of the whole company and the stand and all that sort of stuff. So
that's what you're saying is the key indicator of a company's legitimacy.
So never ever producing BN chocolate.
Oh, there you go. Well done, Perth. Thanks for attending. It was a very tasty treat for everyone involved.
It was, and it was good to see that poll. There was 65 votes there. A third of people couldn't make it. And 2/3 of people said it was definitely worth it, and I'm assuming one person said it wasn't. So, I think it was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think things like that are invaluable for like you said earlier, the general sense of community, and to actually be in a room with other people that have similar questions and are wanting to learn more about all of, this whole industry. Because I think often, and I've said this on a number of occasions, being this close and being directly in Bullion Now, I think sometimes we take for granted the type of knowledge that the things that we discuss on a regular basis and seem normal to us are actually quite a foreign concept to a lot of people. So it's great to be able to get out and have these conversations in person. And, with some of the conversations that I was having with people after the presentation, their eyes were just bugging out. They couldn't believe like the things that we were talking about. And I thought, this is... Yeah, for us, this is normal. We just chat about this kind of stuff around the office, but to get out there and be able to educate people directly, or at least give some insight as to what's going on in this industry, was really, really good.
It was funny watching people's faces, because quite often there was a relief on their face of, I can actually talk to someone about this in a safe environment, and they don't think I've got a screw loose, like I've lost the plot, like. We can actually have a conversation. It was almost this big, huge relief for them that they could, it was bubbling up inside them and they couldn't wait to get it out. And now they could actually do it, and it was, it was a good environment to do it in. So, I thought it was great, and it was a successful couple of days. So,
very good.
We should probably move on.
Yeah, let's kick off the stream. What do you got, Ruben? You probably missed a few questions. Apologies in advance. Yeah, sometimes we get off track.
There has been some questions about the Brumby that has been released from Perth.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice design.
Our thoughts on it, and also, if we're going to be able to get any, which I guess we should kick off with before talking about it, because that's kind of the bad news alongside the Brumby.
I just want to say you're welcome, Irish Luck. But the Brumby, so the bad news, if we want to start off there, is that Bullion Now doesn't get offered the Brumby. It's one of the few that Perth keeps to both themselves and one other dealer. So we're not allowed the Brumby.
That's rough. Come on, Perth.
Yeah, what are you playing at? What do we think of the Brumby design, though? Onto the positive.
Unreal. That is such a hit. Who's designed that?
I actually don't know.
I can't. The initials are on there, but I can't quite make it out.
I got two cameras in the way. I can barely see the thing. I should look on the screen.
Natasha? I can only see the letter.
Someone in chat might be able to help.
Yeah, my eyes are playing tricks on me. Oh, is it? Yeah, I can't even read it. It looks like JM.
You like this one?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. But then again, I didn't grow up riding horses, so maybe you've got some issues with the anatomy of it. But I think it looks super cool.
I just got a problem with its head.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rude head, you think?
It just doesn't... Oh, it's just disappeared off my screen, but it just doesn't kind of look right. I don't know what it is. Head angle,
I can put it back.
But yeah, when they're bucking around, he could be turning his head, going ballistic, because he looks like he's in the thick of a lightning storm, so I wouldn't blame him for going berserk.
I don't mind the rest of it. I mean, you can pick holes in these things, but like most people, a horse is a horse, of course. And I think the scenery is actually quite good. I don't mind it with the lightning behind and the almost desert scene, but the head's just more the kind of from the eyes down to the nose. I don't know. Something's just not right there. But yeah, it's a good design actually. I like it. Other than that,
well, who's done the design? We're starting the trend now. I've given a little more credit to designers, so I'm going to look into it. An error has occurred. This page is currently unavailable. Wonderful. Can someone in the chat please let me know who the designer is?
They've said JM, but it doesn't really help us.
I'm not sure which.
It's good to see that Perth Mint has issues with their website on occasion as well. So it looks about 2/3, 1/3-ish.
Yeah.
So it's because
you've gone straight to the head issue, and now you've influence people's votes.
I should have shut up.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
No, there was comments about that before Michael said it.
Oh, okay.
Some free Jennifer McKenna.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice one. Well done, Jennifer. I think you've done
you,
a very good job.
Thanks for that one, Keith.
There you go. And I possibly shouldn't show my face in Perth Mint for a while.
Yep. Well, as long as one of us has been complimentary, we can go in and offset the other.
I feel really bad commenting on these things because I can barely draw a straight line with a ruler. Like, I've got absolutely no artistic skill at all.
Yeah, that's life, though, like anything, like music and whatever it happens to be, Everyone's got an opinion on everything, basically.
Yeah.
I guess just not everyone has a, live TV show officially sponsoring Friday that can get on their soapbox and feel entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, opinions are like butts. Everyone's got one. It's just how much of it they want to reveal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Except we can open ourselves up to design criticism now because we released a bar up at Sydney.
Yeah, that design was a bit dodge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Seen way better designs.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Seen better designs on a cereal box. Who did that?
So for those that don't know, we're very proud of the bar, and Ruben actually did the photo for it. So, yes. I thought it came out. I thought it came out really well. So we've even got a sample here, which I'm not going to touch because it's not mine. But I don't know if we can get a close-up on that, Rubes, or not.
There you go. Boom.
There you go. Do it the proper way instead.
Easy.
So a beautiful design for Sydney. We've still got a couple of them left. Not a lot, but we've still got a couple left. But yeah, great design for Sydney there. The first official Bullion Now Germania Mint production.
Yeah, crossover.
And I guess we're now expecting a Perth Mint designer to make a video on their channel saying, this is
That's right. Yeah, you can hammer us, Perth Mint. Bring it up and, you shoot it. We'll actually show it on our YouTube channel if you want to do a critique of the Bullion Now bar.
I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, sit down and just roast the design. And then we can do a poll at the end of it. Yeah, so, that'd be fun.
I think they're well within their rights to pull apart our design.
Absolutely agree.
Oh, dear. Stephen Bayer, absolutely. In fact, I think Aussie Girl has requested that we sign the box.
Yes.
So I actually signed it before we came on stream, but we actually thought we'd bring it and you can see at least Matt sign it.
Yeah, live.
To know that it's not a forgery.
Yeah, not an AI signature.
And if anyone else has got one and they would like some signatures, just let us know and we can organise that.
Is there any limits on them? Corey's wanting to know. I think we'd kind of said it because we weren't sure how it was going to go. Hey, ease up fair play policy. Are we opening that now that it's been released for a few days?
Now people have had a couple of days to grab them. And my big concern was there'd be none left for Sydney. So we took a whole stack from Sydney and we isolated them so they couldn't be for sale. We released some to the website and isolated the rest in Sydney just in case. Well, there was a few left at the end of Sydney, so we're now allowing those to go through. So if you would like to buy more than one or two, you fill your boots, go for it now because they're all, I wouldn't say they're spares, but they're certainly, everyone has had a chance to have a fair crack, so you can buy some more.
Home Mum saying they're having some issues getting it to work for a US address.
Oh.
I don't know why. Oh, I do. This is an IT thing. Oh, man. I'll get this totally butchered. So if you send us an email, I'll actually get Simon to tell you exactly what we have to do. But part of our security now is getting your email and or phone number verified. And the way they do that in the rest of the world is you put in your phone number and we buzz you an SMS. It's actually illegal to do that in the US and Canada.
Oh, like spam laws or something?
Yeah, you're talking to an ignorant here. So there's something along those sort of lines. So there is they've come up with a step around for that, so we still comply with the legislation. I wish I'd listened closer because I can't tell you what that is. But if you shoot us an email, just shoot it to live@bullionnow.com.au. So that's live@bullionnow.com.au. Just say, this is me, this is my account. I'm having trouble because I'm in the US. I'll give it to Simon. He'll work his magic and he'll get it to, or DJ, one of the two will work their magic and they will get it sorted for you so you can place the order. And no, we're not shipping any Perth Mint chocolate out. The very few that we got hold of.
It's all gone. Yeah, you talk about things that are rare.
Well, there might be 8 in my suitcase sitting in the office there, but
yeah, there were 8.
Yeah, that's why I get back from the live stream. Someone will rated them. That's all right. Somebody asked me earlier about platinum and what I thought of it. What was the question on that one, Rubes? Have you got it there?
No, I don't. Let me see if I can quickly find it.
Have you now opened up the floodgates to get these signed? Yeah. Remember last time we signed things and it took like a year to get them out because we said we'd do it and then...
That's the problem is we have these part-timers.
Exactly. So we all get in the room. Yeah, people think that we just spend all day, every day knocking about planning these streams, but... It's very rare that you see these 3 guys in the same room together.
Yeah, that's
so. Right. I guess. Well, you've committed now, Michael. So how are people going to get their?
Well, if you want yours signed, I'm going to load up Ruben here. You're going to have to. It's great that you put them on the chat, so we know that you want it. But you're going to have to actually email us so that it enters the I was going to say the stream, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But enters the people who will be chasing us up to get them to sign it. So if you could send your request to live, LIVE, at bullionnow.com.au, Ruben will forward that through to Alex. Alex is the man with the golden pen, and he will hunt us down and get us to sign them.
And if you do that, just bear in mind that it will add a little bit of runway to your dispatch because one of us only turns up pretty much one day a week. And it delays everything.
Everything.
Sorry.
Someone was also asking if they've already got their tracking number if it's too late.
It will be too late if you've already got your tracking number. But next time you're in, bring it in with you and we will happily sign it. And we'll even, if you want, hold it back for the part-timer to sign it as well.
Perfect.
That platinum
coming
question,
on a Friday.
That platinum question was from Phil. And it said, how bullish are you on platinum and why? How long do we have?
Yeah, I'm very bullish. I'll keep this really short. I'm very bullish platinum. Have been for a while, mainly because it got hammered several years ago on the price. It was worth more than gold for quite a long time, which is why you see platinum Amexes and all that. It was considered the level above. It crashed in price probably 7, 8, might even be more years ago, because they moved all of the or a lot of, I should say, the manifolds and plenums that are made in cars. Sorry, not the manifolds and plenums. I'm going back to the dark days. The catalytic converters in cars, they moved them over to palladium, which shot up in price when they did that. So I firmly believe that excess that was caused into the market has now gone out of the market. Platinum is a difficult metal to work with. It's a difficult metal to find. It's a difficult metal to process. So at current prices, it's not really viable for them to mine it flat out and to produce the amount that is now being required. So the price will have to drive up because the miners are just saying, well, it's not worth it at this price. We need it higher. So the price will drive up because the demand will drive it there. We're also seeing platinum being used in a lot of other materials now, a lot of other technologies. So it's obviously part of the move towards greener things, so all sorts of things like that. The same as silver is, but it's also used in a lot of medications these days as well. So there's a lot of good stories around platinum, and I think that we're going to see it start moving up. And because it's one of the good things about gold is it's mainly an investment metal, which is what gives it its stability in price, because people buy it, countries buy it and hold it for the longer term. Platinum is the complete opposite. It is an industrial metal. Even though it is a precious metal, it's industrial. So it works on its price fluctuations are very much driven by industry. And so as industry gets back up on its feet and gets going again, and the new technologies come down the pike, we're going to see more and more of that price go up, in my opinion. However, please be very aware that this is not financial advice. This is
No, I said it as aviation. Hang on.
It's definitely not aviation advice, but it's particularly not financial advice. It's just a grey-haired old goat speaking on YouTube, and that's how you've got to take it.
That'll teach me for not updating that back.
Now, Mickey D67. I wonder if that's Mickey D that I went to school with. What is your process for shipping bullion to Tasmania? We ship it through a variety of different couriers, depending on what it is, the size, the weight, how quickly it needs to get there, all those types of things. So we use a courier mostly to take it down to Tasmania.
We need to do a personalised delivery service one day. We hop on the Spirit, scoot over.
Oh, I thought you were going to say hop in my plane and scoot over.
But either or, I'm easy. Just go to Tassie. What a place.
Well,
Spend more time there. We need to do a Tassie stream. Let's organise to do a stream from Mona. That'd be a bit of fun.
Oh, now you're pushing me out of my comfort zone. Sticking me in an art gallery.
Yeah. No, it's not your everyday run of the mill. It's not a pedestrian gallery.
It's certainly not.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Not sure if we've got any news on this front, but a few people wanting an update on the Rubik's Cube coins.
Get excited.
Okay, I'm going to put my little coin shop hat on right now. So Perth Mint, bless their cotton socks, had a lot of trouble with the Rubik's Cube, the little Rubik's Cube inside the coin. And a lot of them had to go back to the manufacturer for remanufacturing. They are coming across, stuck in Treasury. You're not far off right there, Kate. So they've been coming across in dribs and drabs. Little Coin Shop have taken the first half of their order, and they have been dispatched to the first people that ordered. The second lot, they're telling me that they'll definitely be out by the end of September, which is frustrating me, but they're saying that they're hoping to get the Little Coin Shop delivery out because it's quite a large one before the middle of September. So hopefully within a couple of weeks they will start going out. I desperately hope they'd be there earlier, but unfortunately our hands are tied. And look, I'm not trying to hang Perth Mint out to dry here either. Perth Mint's hands are tied as well. They didn't want to let a not up to standard product out into the community, so full marks to them. And they've decided to take the heat and actually hold fire on it and just get them out as they could. So, some people, even in the chat here, some people are saying, I received mine. Tone's got his a month ago because he jumped in early. I can only apologise, as Perth Mint is only apologising for the delays, but unfortunately it's out of our control, but I'm assured you will have them before Christmas. I'm just not specifying which year.
I like Drogs and James come out there about them struggling with the inner Rubik's Cube just because they couldn't figure out how to solve them. They came all jumbled. We couldn't figure out how to...
I can see all the Perth Mint staff. Little Rubik's Cubes trying to solve them in the lunchroom.
Also, on that same list of updates, people are wanting to know if there's any news on the Pakenham store.
Yeah, what gives?
It's coming along, actually.
Yeah.
I'm actually
the gate out.
I'm actually starting to see progress, which is really good.
Well, this is nice.
Maybe one of these days we'll be able to see it out there.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, so
ballpark
end of September.
Same as the Rubik's Cubes.
We're not saying which year though.
Hopefully the end of September this year, at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully then, conceivably in the next month or so, we might even see a stream out of there.
We could probably do a stream out of there. Well, we can't. NBN's not going in till... Kate will have to help me here, but I think it's next week the NBN goes in. So once that's in, we could do a stream out of there.
Well, sounds like we're in business.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Tuesday.
There you go. Tuesday NBN goes in. So
we more reason to tune in.
We could even do next Friday. I don't think we are going to, but we could even do next Friday out of there if we really wanted.
I think it'll be a nice little, even if we just did a video, a little bit of a throwback to the original tour around the Melbourne store from way back at the start of the YouTube channel.
Wow.
So yeah, we might have to do one for Pakenham in a similar vein.
How things have changed.
Exactly.
Irish Luck. Did you see the article regarding Samsung talking about using more silver for their batteries? I didn't, but I've heard other people talking about it. What are your thoughts around this? Oh, look, I've got I got mixed feelings about this one. Silver's, because there's been a big burst. Somebody came out recently and said, help me here, Rubes, there's 20 grams of silver in every solar panel and
I think it might have even
2
been
ounces
2 ounces in an EV battery.
in an EV battery, was it? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
And my initial thought was, well, that's not going to help that much. I mean, 20 grams, that's nothing. That's not even a full ounce. But when you start thinking about how many solar panels are actually out there, that's actually quite a bit of silver out of the system.
Jason's saying a kilo of silver per solid state battery.
I guess it depends on how big the battery is.
These are the new batteries, from what I understand, or what I've heard recently. Yeah, it's someone was saying 2 kilos, but this is
the problem is I've heard
this
a similar
at a skate
thing.
park kind of thing.
Well, you're not going to fit 2 kilos of silver in a mobile phone battery.
No, well, this is the but this has always been one of the debates because I've heard similar kind of numbers, well, actually much higher numbers bandied around with like the Tomahawk missiles and things like that for years of just speculation. Is it 500 ounces? Is it a couple of kilos? They use silver in them to some extent, but I've heard so many different numbers, and it's potentially the same thing here. Although there's a couple of people saying a kilo there. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if it is a kilo in an EV, like. Initially, it could cause. I don't think that alone, like the EV and the solar panels. I don't think those alone will cause a sudden, massive increase in spot price. And particularly as a lot of these things are recycled. Like when you put silver into a missile and send it somewhere, the chances are you're not going to be recycling that silver. But with the cars, batteries for cars, solar panels, that type of thing. This is all recyclable stuff and will be recycled. So I can't see it being a huge change in spot price. But look, stranger things have happened. It's good to see that they're using them in those types of things. Silver's always the difficult one for me because silver, and I said this at the conference a couple of times, silver is a byproduct of a lot of other mining. I've said this many times actually, even on this channel. So it's almost irrespective of the spot price, we're going to be producing silver. So there's a hell of a lot of silver out there. I'm not the guy that's going to subscribe to the silver's going to $300 an ounce within the next 2 days sort of thing. I think it will be a gradual build over time as more and more of these green technologies require more and more silver. I think it'll be a slow build. I think it's great that they're using more. The more they use it, the more we talk about it, the more it gets used up, the more it gets out there in the community. And I think that can only be a positive. But I don't think we're going to see a sudden rush up, doubling in price or anything along those sort of lines because of it.
Here's a counter thought to that, though, right?
Yep.
Conceivably, let's say that is the direct action is that, let's say, electric vehicles begin consuming significantly increased volumes of silver.
Yep.
That then leads to many more of these, round the barbecue conversations. And as a result, you have an indirect effect of a number of people that are either on the fence or previously don't have an interest in precious metals saying, well, hang on, I keep hearing that there is now going to be quote unquote a bit of a squeeze on silver. Maybe I should start looking into it. And then indirectly you have not only the initial increased demand for the industrial component, but then it would be hard to quantify or measure, but then you could conceivably have an increase in the retail demand based on however far and wide that narrative gets spread, whether by journalism or other people on YouTube promoting that as a thing.
I agree with your statement, but I still think it's going to be a slow build. It's not going to be
an overnight.
It's not going to be like it appears on Channel 10 News, and then the next day, the queues are out the door at every bullion dealer around Australia, and every company that deals in silver is going to start, tripling their orders overnight. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that type of thing. But to see a slow build as more of it's being produced, more of it's being used. And is out there and more people are talking about it, I can absolutely see that being a slow build. But yeah, like I said, I'm not the guy that says silver's going to 300 tomorrow.
Which is good. I think.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Look, I would far rather, and we say this every so often too, do you really want to wake up in a world where silver is now $300 an ounce and gold is now $40,000 an ounce? No, I don't want to wake up in that world if it's happened overnight, because it means there's a hell of a lot of other things that have gone wrong.
I used to think I did. Back in the day when I started out, I thought, oh yeah, ripper, imagine that. 10xing my investment, overnight, like a crypto type return, that'd be great. But there are a lot of other elements.
Yeah, well, that's right. Unlike crypto, like gold is oh wow, I'm going to open a can of worms here. Gold is a hedge against inflation and against hyperinflation and those types of things. Cryptocurrencies at this stage are not. And if you want to know my thoughts on that, go back to the conference because I did a talk on it. At this stage, they are not. Even Bitcoin is not a hedge against inflation. Could be in the future, not currently. So for Bitcoin to triple in price, or some other one of the elephant coin or whatever they're called this week,
new doggy coins,
for them to triple in price or quadruple in price is not going to affect the economy hugely. Gold has been shown for millennia that it's this hedge against inflation. If it goes from, in Australian dollar terms or even US dollar terms, goes from that 2.5 in US, $2,500 an ounce, or $3,700 an ounce in Australian. If it jumps to $40,000 tomorrow, there's a reason why it's done it. The world's gone to war. There's massive famines, there's hyperinflation, there's massive printing. It's a world that you don't want to wake up in a hurry. If it happens over several generations, that's perfectly, modern normal. So that I'm happy to talk about.
Set a little bit of a clip there if anyone wanted to hear you talk about that a little bit more.
Don't leave the live stream yet.
No.
Yeah, stick around.
Watch it later. So Andrew's saying there, most of the gold companies that presented in Sydney always had silver and lead on the balance sheet in production, albeit they are known as a gold miner. And that's exactly right. You'll find most copper miners have silver, particularly silver, but silver and lead on their balance sheets because it's a byproduct of copper mining. All these types of things, they are always producing them because of the raw source that they're actually after in other things.
As a bit of a kind of open-ended, I'm not sure this will be definitely a not financial advice kind of question, but I've asked it a few times. What is a good amount of time to hold gold before selling with a profit? So, I again, like I said, I'm putting that, and I should have fixed this now. There we go. It's no longer aviation. But what if someone is considering gold compared to some other assets, how long should they at least be preparing to wait, even if it's not actually waiting, if that makes any sense?
You got an opinion on this?
What do you need it for? Yeah. For me, it's the precious metals that I hold have historically served as indirectly as a savings fund sort of thing to add that friction component to it, so I don't go off and go buy a Nintendo Switch or something like that at a moment's notice when I get the urge. And as
you bought your house with your stack, really, didn't you?
Yeah. It allowed me to buy a house. It allowed me to, establish my business. All of those things that I would have never. And I was having this conversation with my wife just the other day. Many things that we've been able to do thus far in life would not have been possible had it not been for my precious metals holdings, because and I guess it's probably reflected. People know me relatively well that watch the stream regularly. I can be a bit impulsive at times, and I get passionate pretty quickly. Yeah, and it's been through that inadvertently sort of diligent accumulation and stacking and taking a level-headed dollar cost averaging approach to stacking that has allowed me to do some pretty major things. I guess compared to some of my peers, as in my friends my same age, that's, I guess, directly put me a little further along in I guess, life. Like some of the things that I've been able to do, a lot of friends that I have that are the same age haven't been able to do those things. And there is a clear point of difference there, which in my case is my interest in precious metals. So what was the question?
How long?
Well, for me, it was when the opportunity came to do something major, my stack was there. and ready and waiting. And you've said it before as well, Michael, with other things, some other alternative investments, great example being crypto. When you need it at a moment's notice, in my experience, it's been in a downward turn, an unseasonably bad downward turn when I need
89% plus drawdown. Yeah.
And that's all well and good if you're happy to ride it out and you don't have any intention of doing anything with those funds in the foreseeable. But for me personally, the times in my life that I've thought, something major is happening or is on the horizon, it's given me that freedom and flexibility. And often we talk about freedom, in bullion in general, people talk about freedom, and for me that's what it's offered, that freedom to at a moment's notice make pretty major life decisions for not only myself but my family and my family's future. So in that sense, for me, when I needed it, it was there and I was able to draw upon it, and it served its purpose that I needed from it in that sense. But a question like that, when should I sell it? It's such a subjective thing. So for me in that instance, it was that. For other people, it could be a medical emergency pops up or anything happens and you need access to your stack and to do something with it. So
it depends why you bought the stack in the first place. If you bought your stack to trade, well, for a start, I'd say don't go into physical. You're going to lose too much in premium if you're looking at short-term trades. I think Matt's right with what he's saying is basically you hold it until you need it. It's like saying, how long do I put my money into my savings account for?
Yeah.
Well, you put it in there until you need to take it out. And it's the same deal with your precious metal stack is you stack it until you need it. And when you need it, it's there to fall back on.
Yeah.
I always get uncomfortable to try and give you a hard answer because what you're fishing for is a certain period of time. I get really uncomfortable when people start saying, I'm buying this for any less than 2 years. Because you need at least 2 years, same as a house really. You need 2 years for it to cover its costs, for it to go up a bit and cover the premium and those types of things that you may lose. Not necessarily lose, but you may lose when you sell back. I prefer to see people holding it 5 years plus. But, any less than 2 years, and I'd question why you're buying it. Is there better ways to buy it? And this is coming from a bullion dealer who's trying to sell it to you. But I'd question it. I'm not saying don't. I'd just question it. I was actually talking to, that was my wife this morning. Someone had sold back in a 2024 gold kangaroo, and I'm going, why? Like the year hasn't finished yet. Like we're only just half done with it. And, somebody's already selling back a 2024. But as she said to me, well, the price has moved quite a bit. They can liquidate it at a profit, and they may have needed the money somewhere else. Okay, fair. That's a fair call.
Yeah.
I go back to there's a really good chart on goldprice.org, I think it is. One of the guys here gave me a printed out copy of it, and I carry it around in my bag. And it shows the price of gold over the last 15 years based on what currency you're in. And it shows that even in USD, I think there's 3 years of the 15 where it's gone down. But across the board, pretty much whatever currency you're in, gold has returned about a 7.5%-ish return each year. So you've got to look at that and go, well, if I'm paying 5% in premium, it's going to take a year at least to cover my premium on average. Yep. So, they're the sort of things that you play around with. But I'd say at least 2 years, preferably 5 and greater.
And just in general,
that's the one.
Unreal.
Got there.
So, yeah, you can see there, there's a couple more years. I was wrong. So, in USD, there was 3 years in a row, and then there was a single year and a 2 year. But even the 2 years that it went down, one of them was 0.3%. So, you'd say that's pretty much just a neutral year. You look there in Australian terms, it's only 3% 15 years ago, and then 16% it copped a hammering in 2013, where everything copped a hammering in 2013. So, it's 7.4% in Australian dollar terms. So, that's what you're looking at on average.
Perfect.
Question for Michael. Do you expect Australia to also drop interest rates if the US Fed does? And if not, does that mean the AUD will strengthen against the USD, which would make gold lower for us?
The answer you want to that is yes. I think Australia will drop the interest rates. I do not think they'll drop them because the US does, but it's actually it's an connected result. I know that I'm not making sense there, but it's not a direct result, but it's an indirect result of the US dropping their rates. But I think the US are going to drop their rates far earlier and far quicker than Australia will, which will mean that the Australian dollar will strengthen against the US, or more accurately, the US dollar will weaken against the Australian dollar. And that will make the gold price better for us if you're buying. But if you're selling, obviously, it possibly won't. So, but there was a great conversation, and I keep harking back to Sydney, to the conference up there. There was a presentation on if you're bullish gold, then you should be bullish Australian dollar and bullish something else. I can't remember what the third thing was. Isn't that terrible?
Perth Mint Chocky bars?
Always Perth Mint chocolate bars. So there was three things there that you should be bullish on. And oil. Thank you, Andrew. Oil was the third one. So absolutely, and I think we'll see that play out over the next 2 years.
Sarah commenting on the fact it's been a while since they've seen a Canadian Mint Royal Canadian Mint release at BN.
Yeah, it has been a little while.
There's a couple of other people chiming in there hoping for something.
Well, they've got their dragon, correction, they've got their snake coming out soon.
The Bullion, though,
we
saw
but through us specifically, not just them releasing, but actually us getting something through from us.
Like the 2 ounce.
We can't bring in everything.
Why not? But we should.
We're trying, but we can't.
Watch this space.
I had that very discussion with Adam. Adam's our stock controller, looks after all things stock, and he's a certifiable genius, just quietly. And he was saying this morning we should get in these. Scottsdale's producing a Trident coin. Okay. And he's saying we should get these in. I'm going, why? And he's going, oh, they're this and they're that and they're. I'm going, yeah, I know, but how many coins are we bringing in here? We've got to draw a line somewhere. So hence adds one, as he should do, because like I said, he's the stock controller. So we're getting in Tridents from Scottsdale. So stay tuned for those. They're being done in the 1 ounce silver, 1/10 gold, and 1 ounce gold.
Cool.
And they look great.
Oh, that'd be nice to see.
So they will be appearing in the not too distant future as well. And maybe we should talk to Adam about getting some more RCM products in.
Canberra Stacker there wanting some of the maple in the cards, the little 1 gram guys. Before Christmas.
Yeah, see? Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we should get some of those
Michael's
in there.
back,
great.
back on side. Yeah, that's a
Adam,
good call.
if you're listening, mate, we need some of those little 1 gram maple coins.
They're cool. They're very nice.
Like they say, this is not having a dig at any particular race, but they say the Chinese can replicate things and miniaturize it. The Canadians have, I reckon, they've beaten them with the detail that they get in that little 1 gram coin. It's amazing.
Because when you see something of that size, you expect, okay, they've sacrificed the entirety of the design. There will just be a little blob of a maple. If you squint, you'll see it. But yeah, they've retained an incredible amount of detail on those. That's got to be... I don't know what their production costs are, but that's got to be a nightmare to produce those and do, as you guys saw when you're at Perth Mint, the quality control on those. Imagine that for a job. Sitting there with an eyeglass inspecting every single one.
Forget that for a joke.
Unreal.
Yeah. So ads, if you're listening, mate, we need to get some of those in. Yeah, I agree, before Christmas.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. All right, we've wandered around enough. Rubes, bring us back on target.
Well, I don't know how on target this is going to be, but we're going to look quickly now at a submission from a viewer, and a pretty cool one at that. They've done us up a little song, and actually I saw them in chat before. It's Objective Sovereignty. So big thank you. I'll play it now. A little bit of a heavy metal song, I think, brought on by the our concept previously about metal and the genre versus us selling precious metals, and also brought on by a comment Matt laid last week about if you want your bullion and you want it now. So big thanks to Objective Sovereignty.
How am I going to hear this? This is live technical support.
Right.
So do I unmute my thing and then you mute this?
Don't stress. I'll play it for the viewers. It's all good. We'll play that. We'll see what they think.
You blast it on your.
too. So click on the link and go to Bullion Now. When you want your bullion and you want it now, get yourself down to Bullion Now. When you want your bullion and you want it now, click on the link and go to Bullion Now. Be sure to check the YouTube channel on Friday afternoons, when they're talking bullionomics and numismatics too. That's how we tell you all of.
All right, it
Yeah,
does.
that's
It
mad.
does.
That's
It does
actually
keep going.
that goes pretty hard.
So,
That was mad on backups there.
Yeah, it took me back to my heyday. Jeez. Yeah, very nostalgic. Yeah, that was good to see some old pics. I don't think I've ever looked back at any of the old streams. It was we've come a long way in terms of production value. That was one of the things I got out of that old photo. But yeah, that's cool. Thanks for sending that in. Something you don't see every day or hear.
The creativity of the Bullion Now family just spins me out week after week. I never would have even thought of doing that.
Yeah, between this and the Muppet thing.
That's right. That Muppet thing was. Yeah. The intro should be the Muppet thing with that thing playing in the background. I reckon that's exactly what we should be having.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh dear, we need a video with Michael Metal growling into the mic, wearing a Megadeth singlet on. Now you're taking me back to my teenage years.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we've both got some pretty wild pasts in that sense.
Right. Fortunately, there wasn't camera phones around when I was there, so they've got footage of you, but they haven't got footage of me.
That's true. Oh well, all good fun.
Lots of good fun. All right, what else have we got, Rubes?
This one might be a little bit of a rant for you. I'm not sure where you'll go with this,
Little
but
Muppets
there's a question from Facebook that says, thoughts on the US proposal to tax unrealised gains.
Sorry, ask that again, mate. I tuned out.
Thoughts on the US proposal to tax unrealised gains.
What do you mean the US proposal? We've got one in Australia going through at the moment, which just does my head in. How on earth can you tax something that hasn't been realised?
So am I going to get a credit for unrealised losses?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
No. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sounds a bit more like it.
So no, this is just this is taxation gone nuts. We're going to tax you on something that doesn't actually exist. We're going to tell you what we think, how much it's gone up by, and we're going to tax you on that. Come on.
How are you gonna do that? You're gonna do some appraisals. Just finger in the air.
Well, they're going to have to with some things.
I reckon this will be,
Like, I mean, it's even for a house, like, you get your rates notice through. How often do you go, you're valuing it at what? You know, like.
Very generous.
Yeah.
on a really clear blue sky retail day, maybe.
Right. So, how on earth, I don't get this. I think it's disgusting. And it really is just government's gone wild. It's, you get like, I mean, I don't know where to go with this one.
Surely there are other ways that could be done.
You're taxing something that doesn't exist. Like, I mean, you might as well just start taxing for oxygen.
I was expecting a lettuce leaves comment. I'm going to.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's just ridiculous. So, I'm sorry. Rant over. I'll give you a more intelligent one when I calm down a bit, which will take a while.
Kim and Annie say, I can't seem to complete my order via the website on my iPhone. Is it me or is it another little gremlin? This will be,
way more information needed. As far as I'm aware, it should work with the iPhone. There shouldn't be any reason why not. If you're having trouble, flick us an email, and we'll see if we can sort it out. Best one to send it through normally is sales@bullionnow.com.au.
There was some questions before about if there was...
Hang on, I want to drag you back. Pete, repeat. He's correct, assuming you're a he with that name, but more for it, it's in Australia, it's for the SMSFs at this stage. If you go over $3 million on an SMSF, that's where they're going to start charging unrealised gains. But honestly, dollars to donuts, they're absolutely, if it works and no one complains about it and kicks up a stink over the SMSFs, you will see it gradually filter through the rest of the taxation system. They trial it in one area and then they bleed it through to the rest. So if you ask me, we need to be standing on our digs and saying we don't care who you're going to pitch it at, and you're going to tell us that it's only for the wealthy, because that's how they always start these things to get everyone else going, yeah, it's not fair, let's tax the billionaires. It gets through, and then they just expand it across the rest of the taxation base. So the answer's no. We don't want it. They shouldn't do it, and it's wrong.
Question from George. When are the 2-ounce gold Lunar Dragon coins coming in? Just wondering because I bought a pre-order.
I'm not, mate. This
2
brain
ounce
is
gold,
just...
Yeah, 2-ounce gold dragons for the Year of the Dragon.
I don't know. I think
apparently there was a pre-order.
There was, though. I did notice they were up for pre-order. I think we need to sort that real soon. In fact, let's make a note of that, and I'll talk to Adsy and find out where they are. 2-ounce dragons pre-order.
Sounds like there's at least one other person also having that same iPhone issue as well. So
get a Samsung.
Pretty much. I was going to say, get yourself a Pixel. Get with the program.
Oh, the Pixel any good?
Yeah, I rate it very highly. I transitioned from iPhone. I'm not really much of an Apple guy. I've got a Mac, though. I've got the best of both worlds. So I'm in a position to make that judgment and definitively say Android is where it's at with phones.
25 years ago, possibly even longer, wife and I sat down and said, what are we going to do with these Apple things? Are we going to go Apple, or are we going to stay like with our IBM back in the day?
Yeah.
And we didn't care which way we went. We just wanted to make a decision and have everything go one way or the other, because even though they say they talk to each other, they never really do. And we decided to go the IBM way back in the day. And so we've never touched Apple. And I have nothing against it. It's just that everything I've got is not Apple.
Yep.
And I won't bring them into the house
yeah,
because of it.
My logic was, if I have at least one Apple device and it does go off, I won't be completely left in the dust.
Yeah.
So I've still got 1 foot in that camp. But yeah,
Totally
I'm saying that like I'm a tech savvy guy who I can barely drive the thing. I can barely dial. I can barely call my wife at the best of times. So don't take this as technology advice.
Won't verify email. Okay, that will be something. It won't be your iPhone. It will be something on our end. Or you're in the States was the other one, but I don't think Zabinator is in the States. So flick us an email, let us know, and we will get it sorted at this end.
There you go.
Preferably take a screenshot if you can of what's happening, and that gives us a bit more information. Send it through to sales@bullionnow.com.au. We'll pass that off to DJ and to Simon, and all things will be sorted out by our 2 IT gurus.
Beauty. What's this poll, Ruben? Other 1%. Are they using a fax machine?
No, it's that weird Apple thing, Google thing you're talking about, the Pixel.
The Pixel is an Android, mate.
They still run their own thing, but
yeah, I'll give you that one. Yeah.
They're all subsidiaries.
Pretty sad when Matt's teaching me about IT, isn't it? We know we're in
blind leading the blind.
But there we go.
Still using one of those rotary dial-up phones.
Well, it fits under other, I just no matter what options I put up, you guys give me a hard time.
Well, we apologise to whoever we've offended.
That's right. Yeah. We didn't mean anything by it.
We also didn't know anything by it.
That's right. I miss the old I took my kids, we were at taking something to tip or something, and there was one of those dial-up phones there, and it's like, Dad, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you used to have to dial the number. Oh!
Yeah. Phone calls were serious business. The landline would ring.
You got RSI just dialing it.
Yep.
And it took 30 seconds to dial out a number, and oh, mate. Good old days, eh?
Hello, operator.
Yeah. Patch me through, will ya?
Here we go. We're going to go right off topic here. Back in the day when I grew up on the farm, there was only like 5 lines into the district. And I was dating my soon-to-be wife at that point, and she got really angry with me because she reckoned I'd been on the phone all night because she couldn't dial in.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I'm not been on the phone at all. Yeah, it's engaged. I said, look, love, there's only 5 lines in and out of the district. If somebody else is on the phone, you don't get through. It's that simple. She thought I was full of it, which I can understand why. But in this case, I wasn't. Anyway, she came to me like she was visiting up on the farm a couple of weeks later, and she's going, I'm trying to get out to dial Mum, and I can't phone home to Mum. What's going on? I said, I told you the other week, there's only 5 lines in the district. If other people are on the phone, you pick and peak hour, you're not going to get a number out.
There might be a kookaburra on the line.
I thought you were... No, love, you're in the country now. Things don't work like they do in the city. Anyway.
Things you didn't expect to learn about today, huh?
That's right. Well, can we please get back to bullion?
There's a question there from Craig. Is there any word on the State 1 ounce silver and the Dangerous Creatures 1 ounce? So the series that Ram were producing, I'm guessing, the different state-based ones, and the Dangerous Creatures also from Ram.
I have heard nothing. Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I thought the State one went the way of the floral emblems.
Yeah,
I think they may have
well.
just ditched it, which is, I guess there would be a method to what we perceive to be the madness. Perhaps it was a case of there was a limited uptake on it and the commitment would have outweighed the production costs. But the Australia's Most Dangerous, that's still going pretty strong, isn't it? That's the last one we had was a tiger snake. That wasn't that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but what they're then doing... Oh, no, it was the 5 ounce we were looking at, but they do kind of like a couple of years or a year
there's a bit of a
behind
delay.
kind of thing. Yeah. So they should have released it by now, I think, but they haven't. So now it's a question of...
Okay.
Yeah, are we too late?
Too tangled up with Bluey coins. Yeah, priorities.
Getting them stolen and relisted.
Yeah, look out.
Yeah.
But
I
think the Australia Zoo, there's about to be another one of those. I don't know if that's red hot, top secret information. I haven't blown any story there, but I haven't said what it is. It might be public information, but there will be... My suspicion...
You've dug the hole,
I'm already in.
Boots and all, mate. Go for it.
There'll be another, a release in the Australia Zoo series, which I think is quite nice. I think they've done a good job with that. All the depictions of the Australia Zoo animals.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Tell us what you really think.
Look,
Is it a workaround for getting other animals on coins?
How so? How do you mean?
Like getting an elephant on a coin.
Stuff
Well,
that's
yeah,
not-
because a lot of the prerequisite is it's got to be very Australia-focused, things like that, and they've got foreign animals on the coin
Australian coin
by calling it the zoo. Like, oh, they're in the zoo. It's like, well, yes.
we've highlighted that in the past, that within the confines of the requirements to produce legal tender coinage, they're sort of hamstrung with how creative they can get with it. But I think that's...
So I feel like this is just a little bit of a loophole.
Yeah. So I'd take my hat off to whoever came up with that idea. Thinking a little outside the box.
Yeah, I guess in some ways I don't like the commercialisation of the coin designs. Like, I mean, that's an Australia Zoo one. It's not really, it's almost like the government promoting an individual business.
Yeah, but it's the Australia Zoo.
Yeah, but it's a privately owned zoo. It's owned by...
The Irwins?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we
Steve
should
Irwin,
say it.
legend.
Yeah, well,
you're not happy with Steve?
No,
Let's get into it.
I have no problem with Steve Irwin or the family, or I don't have a problem with Australia Zoo. I have a problem with Ram.
That the rules seem a little bit...
Yeah, like, let's get into... I'm trying to be really, really careful here, but, like, they're getting into bed with Australia Zoo. It's a commercial decision. This is the Ram. This is meant to be a government organisation. It's not like they couldn't have gone into bed with Melbourne Zoo or Taronga Zoo or any of those other zoos around that are, like not-for-profit. Therefore, they're owned by non-profit organisations. Like it just doesn't seem...
There's lots of back and forth. I remember, Kate put me onto Hamish and Andy, who are trying to get a coin with Australian legal tender at the moment, and they kept getting told, no, we can't put you on a coin while you're alive. But then, then they've done Wiggles coins and things like that, and it's like, well, hey, where does that line get drawn?
Yeah, that is an interesting one. Yeah, with the Wiggles, because it wasn't even just the logo. It was an actual depiction of all the Wiggles wiggling around.
And then there was the Great Australian Coin Hunt or whatever with the iced Vovo thing. Again, very much a corporate kind of just brand. Yes, you'd say very Australian, but it is still just a private company on a, Yeah,
I don't know. I struggle with that one a little bit. I have less issue with the iced Vovo because that's considered to be an Australian icon.
Yeah.
Just the Irwins you have a problem with, Michael?
Yeah,
No,
sounds like we're
it's-
back on, yeah.
Again,
Steve
it's
fashion.
not the Irwins and it's not Australia Zoo. It's just the commercialisation of it when they didn't need to go down that path.
Mm.
How else would they get a southern white rhinoceros on a coin?
Well, I was going to say, do you want them to be able to produce a wider variety of things, or are you happy with the rules kind of how they are on being very Australia focused? And like would you like to see some of the things that are currently having to be produced in Tuvalu and, well, not in, but produced with the legal tender of Tuvalu and other islands? Would you like to see those on official Australian coinage, or do you like the separation?
Yeah,
I guess
dug a hole.
No, I guess the problem I have is when it's for its commercialisation and advertising and marketing for an individual private business. I don't care if they stick an elephant on a coin. That doesn't worry me. But, they stuck Bluey on a coin. They stuck the Wiggles on a coin. All these things are considered Australian. The Australia Zoo one I kind of see more as picking. It would be like sticking. It'd be like the Mint doing a Bullion Now coin.
Not at all. Let me explain why. I've never once seen any of those coins and associated that with Australia Zoo. I've always just looked at the animal design, and I would hazard a guess.
You just called it the Australian
because it's
there's
what
a
it's
new
called.
Australian. Yeah, but that's right.
Yeah, exactly. But we need our buddy Culture of Currency in the chat. I bet he's not here because I'm calling on him now, because he's done a highlight video on one of them.
Was it the cheetah? I feel like I remember seeing
and
the cheetah.
I'm not sure if he went in depth about the Australia Zoo. I imagine the focus would have been on the animal, because the Australia Zoo is that's a secondary thing. And until this conversation now, we've blown it up now as a focal point, but it was never the main feature of the coin. It was always the animal was the spotlight. The Australia Zoo part was just a sort of generic
It's
text.
like sticking a bottle of Coke in the back end of a movie. It's, like to say it's not advertising is putting your head in the sand. Of course it's advertising.
Maybe my head's in the sand because I'm looking at the artistic design. Yeah, but
you're a nerd.
That's true. I don't know. Do a poll, Ruben. This is getting out of control.
I mean, some of the comments that are being made there are exactly right. I'd not have a problem with a Vegemite coin.
Yeah.
What would you like me to ask in the poll?
Oh, I don't know. That's his. That's his.
I don't know.
area,
I'm just
mine.
fired up. I feel like there's got to be a question here. Are you fired? Are you upset? Are you upset by the Australia? Are you up? Are you upset by the Australia Zoo branding on the Royal Australian Mint coins? It's something like that.
But see,
in less words, ask that question.
I don't know if I'm explaining this right. I don't even know if I'm speaking English at the moment. But like the Vegemite coin, I have less issue with because that is Australian, and there's nothing you can't. There's nothing else like Vegemite. I know Dick Smith produced. What was that called?
I have no idea.
With Dick Smith,
I'm not even going to take a guess.
hesitating to actually try and remember what it was, because I remember his matchsticks that he made instead of redheads, and they were called something else that I can't repeat on a family program. But I'd have less issue with something like Vegemite because it's a one-off and it's very Australian. It's like having a pavlova.
Aussie Mite. Just as
Aussie Mite, thank you. But when you actually pick out something like Australia Zoo, when you could have used, like I said before, Melbourne Zoo, Taronga Zoo, any of those types of things, I start.
Was the phrasing in the question, Ruben? I'm not happy with the phrasing.
And also the Z should be a capital.
I guess, but see, because I sort of agree with the no, the general consensus of no on there, but in the context of how this series has been marketed or managed, I haven't felt at any point that it's been Australia Zoo headline, blah, blah, blah. And secondary, maybe it is. I
bet the marketing is Australia Zoo in big letters.
Maybe that's the thing.
It comes in a card, if I remember rightly.
No, the gold comes in a box though.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and they do a 1 ounce. No, not for that series. They don't do a coloured. But the gold comes in a box.
Yeah, okay.
But they only do about 100, 150 of those. But this
was a tangent.
Yeah, this one went wild. But I take your point, but I just don't think it's that big of a deal. My focus is on the animal as a collector.
Yeah, but again, you're coming back as a nerd rather than as a Like this isn't absolutely. It's pitched to you as a coin nerd. There's no argument there, but it's actually pitched for the wider community. This will be all over Australia Zoo. The marketing for it will be in conjunction with Australia Zoo.
Yeah.
It'll all be Australia Zoo, and it's our government sanctioning or sponsoring a private enterprise, and I struggle with that.
Okay. Yeah. So you're saying it's sort of potentially a slippery slope.
Yeah,
Where,
absolutely.
If it starts here, where does it end up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, from that perspective, I take your point, but I still think it's fine in this instance. No problem.
But, somebody's mentioned the Star Wars coin. The Star Wars coin's not on an Australian legal tender, as far as I'm aware. It's not on any Australian legal tender coin. RM Williams, was RM Williams on a coin?
It's part of the Aussie coin hunt. Yeah, with a little boot on there.
I'd have less issue with it in an Aussie coin hunt because that's part of a series that's, like you could have RM Williams, Vegemite, Pavlova. I don't know what else would be on that type of series.
Hills Hoist.
That sort of thing where it's a celebration of a variety of Australian inventions.
Yeah.
I use that term incredibly loosely because that's not accurate. But this isn't like if they had one. Private zoos of Australia. Australia's, I don't know any other private zoos in Australia, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
That I'd have less issue with. We can meet in the middle then.
Okay, all right. Australian zoo animals. That can be the new name of the series. Yeah, all right. I think we've solved that, mystery of the day.
Got to the bottom of it.
Far out.
Does anyone know what the question was?
See, we don't have to get off topic to get off topic. We can do it on bullion as well and coins. I want to talk about this.
Hit it.
A mobile speed camera on the coin. Yeah, the most hated coin on earth. I was down in Tasmania recently. Apparently there's been a spate of vandalism and fires on speed cameras down there because they've only just really introduced their mobile speed cameras there.
Oh, good, system.
I'm glad they labelled them mobile because the things are the size of a flaming semi-trailer. I don't know how they catch anyone. Anyway, sorry, now we have gone off topic. So this was a bit of a... Oh, thanks, Rubes. It's a bit of a conversation point this morning that I've been having with different people. These come into our buyback. So everyone knows that they can bring their stuff into Bullion Now and we pay a spot price for them for almost everything. Not quite everything, but almost. So somebody came in and sold us a bag full of 1 ounce coins, and the majority of them, if not all of them, were coloured coins along this ilk. They weren't all this one. There was a whole variety in there. Now, these coins come in with GST on them because they're a coloured coin. They're usually a proof coin. They're not considered to be bullion coins. And the discussion was, do we chuck them into the buyback bucket? So we have a bucket of buyback bullion coins as a rule. And people, buy buyback coins and we scoop them out. It's a bit of a lucky dip. And they normally get bullion coins. And the argument was if we throw these in there, people are going to complain because they're going to get a coloured coin, not a normal, boring old bullion coin. Is that true? If you got this as a buyback, like you ordered on our website, you ordered buybacks. Rubes, I need a poll on this one, mate.
Hey, this is a good day for polls.
If you ordered buyback, this is probably the worst case scenario, which is why I'm pitching it. If you ordered buybacks off our website, 1 ounce buybacks, and that coin that Ruben just showed turned up in the post, would you be upset by it? So it's still the same price. We absorbed the GST on it. So you're not like I think. Don't quote me. I should know this. I know, but I think it's $5 above spot for a buyback coin.
Yep.
So this is thrown in. It's still $5 above spot. You're not paying any extra for GST. It just turns up. Would you be upset because it's a coloured coin and not a bullion coin? It doesn't even have to be this specific coin that we showed. Just generally, if it was a coloured coin, would you get upset about it, knowing that it should be a lucky dip?
I reckon you've answered the question in the end of the statement there. In the end of the question. It's a lucky dip.
Yeah,
Who cares? It is what it is.
Yeah, but people see Bullion Now, it's in the name, as a bullion dealer. They expect a bullion coin in their bullion 1 ounce lucky dip.
Well, so are you suggesting that people can now specify no coloured coins, please? It's a can of worms.
It's a massive can of worms. Yeah. But where do we draw the line? Because every so often you rummage through and there's a proof coin in there.
And I guess it's a grey area because some people would get really fizzed up to see that and say, unreal. That's, adding a little bit of spice to my stack.
So don't answer this as in, do I like this coin? This is, I just grabbed a random one. This is a general, like, if you got a coloured coin, if you got a coloured, like we've got, I'm trying to think of one. You get all sorts of
like
rounds
an Olympics, like the 2000 Olympics coloured coins and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things come in. Would you be upset if it turned up? And it looks like there's about a third would get upset and 2/3 either don't care or, are saying they wouldn't be upset.
And I would suppose that perhaps, based on the phrasing of the question, that someone who is indifferent or doesn't like the royal family would say, no, I wouldn't want that coin. But I think, just generally speaking,
no, you
whether
can't
it's
really
that
get
or
away from the royal family because they're on the
this
back
is
of
true.
the coin.
This is true. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Sure, there's rounds in there and there's some that come from other countries and all sorts of things. So there are times when you don't get it. But, like, as I said, would you be upset? And it looks like somewhere between a quarter and a third of people would actually be upset if they received a coloured coin. I kind of don't know how to deal with that now.
Well, there you go. If it would ruin your weekend, if it would ruin your otherwise wonderful Friday afternoon, hanging out with us here on the live stream, just add a little note into your order and say, please,
what a can of
colour.
worms.
Well, this is your doing. This was your idea, so here we are. Now you've got to face the music, mate.
Yeah. I wish I had
what do you want? So what do you want to do? Put in a note and say, please.
Well, the
please
alternative,
no colours, but it's not that prevalent, right? Where it's 1 in 3 buybacks is a coloured.
No, it's not.
It's every now and then.
Yeah,
there's people pitching the idea of making separate listings, and the rabbit hole with that is you then have to start separating out a lot of things, which takes far more time, far more manpower, and then
defeats the purpose of the just churning through.
We then end up having to charge more because it's not as viable, and so
and then you get one with a scratch on it, and you say, well, this isn't it's not to the proof standard I expect on my proof buyback.
I think we just keep them for buybacks in store, and that way people can actually.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it penalises everyone who doesn't come into store, and I apologise for that, but it's the easy answer is this is for in store only.
Maybe that's it for now until a more
robust,
reasonable, as a system can be put in place.
Yeah. There you go. Another question I wish I hadn't answered. Asked. Whatever I did then.
Oh, there you go. Such is live television.
I think we need to start looking towards our
you're joking.
500 questions in 50 seconds.
Remember when we wondered if we'd have enough in the tank for this stream? I never had any doubts. I don't even think we've covered all the bases we wanted to today.
Got you two ranting about Australia Zoo.
It always cracks me up when Ruben will say, I'm not sure we've got enough for today, and Matt and I go, we'll wing it, it'll be right. And then we get to the end of the stream and Ruben goes, well, we didn't cover this, we didn't cover this, we didn't cover this.
Half, boys.
More
we
people
still haven't covered that one I wanted to cover from last week.
Nope.
Next week. There you go. Tune in next week for news from 3 weeks ago.
That's right.
We covered it before, but I guess a few people missed it. People wanting an update on Pakenham.
So Pakenham's coming along nicely. I'm saying end of September. It wouldn't shock me if we have the dispatch centre there in September, but we don't actually have the store fully open at the 1st of October. But that's what we're aiming for, is that kind of end of September, start of October.
Good stuff. NP, talking about the Perth Mint event. We need to...
we didn't even do that. That's going to be a
It's
whopper.
coming up.
So that's only 2.5-ish weeks away.
Oh, boys, we need to get organised.
Yeah, we're always organised.
Pretty much. We're pretty well organised.
There's always the Uber ride to the Mint to finalise.
Yeah, we just need to communicate it with everyone. So, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, Sunday evening... So for anyone who happens to be local to Perth and may not be able to make it down to the event due to the limited spaces we have available.
And even if you can make it to the event.
Yeah, come on down. We will do a little bit of an evening get-together. At this stage, it seems to be the Grosvenor is just the spot. So
it's across the road from the Perth Mint.
Yeah, and I'm assuming we're going to be somewhere local to there anyway, so we can
I hope so.
stumble back to base. But so Sunday evening... approximately 7-ish. We'll do
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, come down to the Grosvenor, and we'll have some refreshments with the lads, and we'll be, shaking hands and chit-chatting everything Bullion. So if
Matt's going to sing for us.
Yeah, I'll belt out a couple of tunes if you catch me on a good day. And who knows, we might even drag over some local celebrities from Perth.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened. So that'll be Sunday evening. That's a very informal, casual event. I don't know what we'll do. Maybe what do we use? A Facebook post or something with the time and date?
We
We'll
can
figure
put
it
it
out. We'll
across the
communicate
socials.
that somehow in a
Yeah.
slightly more formal manner. But then,
It would be a good idea to have an idea of numbers. I don't
maybe
care,
we-
but
yeah.
also I don't want to turn up there and say, right, we're booking the whole place out and have 3
Yeah.
of us there. But I also don't want to say there's only going to be 6 of us and 500 people turn up.
that's true.
So if we can get a bit of an idea of who's coming and who's not, that would be useful.
So email live@bullionnow.com.au
My phone has
If
been going
you-
off
if
midway
you are-
through.
interested in coming along just for a very informal catch up with the Bullion Now team, just at the Grosvenor, very casual, very light-hearted.
Ruben's just resigned.
Yep. Never has he ever received more emails into that inbox. Go and put up the email address on the screen. There you go. live@bullionnow.com.au.
I'm
You
just
can
going
send
to change
anything there. Anything you like.
Yeah. Your musings. Any funny videos you found on YouTube, send them over.
Please don't. We actually need Ruben.
Following that, we have our Bonanza, and what sounds like we'll hopefully get some footage for those that are unable to attend. It may not be the full behind-the-scenes experience that we're organising.
Yeah, you can't show footage out the back.
Yeah, but
Perth
so
Mint will
out,
get
out the
upset
front,
about
we'll put together some, some sort of what's the word? Videos, so you can still be part of the action from wherever you are in the world. So watch this space. We've got very limited numbers. No numbers currently available. Maybe 1 or 2 spots on the tour.
Yeah, I think, are we going to open up?
This is your.
Yeah, I think
You're
we've-
driving the ship, but I'm trying to explain it. It's
I
it's a
think we
tricky
have.
one.
I think we have 4 more spots
Okay.
available. You were going to actually. We were talking about you making open
Oh
up
yeah,
the booking
just open
for,
up the booking
for the
for the last 4 spots.
for the last 4 slots that have come open. So if you, Matt
I know
will,
how to do that.
Matt will open up the booking.
And Ruben will put in the link.
He's madly scrambling around for it.
How do you open bookings? I didn't close the bookings. Change status.
There we go. So we will meet. Do you want me to take over a little bit?
Please do. I don't know what I'm doing.
So on the Monday morning, the 16th of September, we will meet out the front of the Perth Mint at 8 o'clock. We will be showing, well, actually, if you get there a little bit before 8, that'd be great. We will then enter the grounds of the hallowed grounds of the Perth Mint.
Yep.
And we will gather in a room exclusively for the Bullion Now family that is joining us there. We will have a talk, bit of an intro session, welcome, all that sort of stuff. We're going to have the designer there, and they are going to talk to us for a while and be available to ask questions. We will have the grand tour of the back end of the Perth Mint, which is very exciting. We'll also have 1 or 2 of the production staff at this stage will be available for us to talk to. They'll talk to us. We can ask questions. And we will also have the opportunity at this stage to purchase a snake or 2 while we're there. So it will be a lot of fun. It will be it'll be educational as well. Bring along those tricky questions you've always wanted to ask the Mint staff, and make sure you ask them. And it'll be a great time as well. There'll be the Bullion Now team will be there, and we'll have a grand old time. What have we missed out of that? We're expecting it to run kind of 2.5 hours, somewhere in there. And you'll be able to join the official craziness of the Perth Mint for the release of the snake. There will also possibly be a special thing available for those that turn up on the day to purchase the snake.
Woo!
On top of all the Bullion Now fun and games.
And what date is the event?
16th
All right, so
Of September.
of September.
That's why I can't update the tickets. I've done it. I've cracked the code. Ruben, you can put the link. Oh, that took all of my brain
You possibly
power.
need to send him the
Can you
link now.
send said link?
Oh, yeah. All right. Hold on. How do we do that?
All right, we need to get to 60 questions in 15
Yeah, you start
seconds.
answering questions and I'll get Ruben this link. Goodness me. Didn't I send it to you last week?
Probably.
All righty. What is a coin that Matt is currently chasing?
You asked the Matt question. Well,
Yeah.
trying
Where to
to
begin? I'm
multitask.
always chasing something. Lately, I've been chasing some proclamation coins just because I love them. Well, these are all the coins that we used in Australia prior to 1813 when we got the holy dollar and dump. That's the short version. Keep going.
There was someone asking before if we will only pay $5,000 out in cash if someone is selling back.
Sorry, ask the question again.
Will we only pay $5,000 out in cash if someone is selling back?
No, we'll pay more than that.
There's some talk now because we have just ticked over to 300 likes on the Nugget video. So I will be figuring out a way to sell those nuggets.
That's going to be a challenge.
But no, very excited for that. Let's look at these. Are you guys able to mule some combined orders over for Perth customers?
Oh, that's a can of worms.
Oh.
My official answer is going to be no because otherwise we end up, lugging over 45, 50 kilos worth of...
Is there a difference between the two, Matt?
Just did the most recent one.
When we did the Round Australia tour, I was stupid enough to agree to that. Somebody wanted their small order taken over, and it turned out to be something like 25 kilos of Perth Mint bars. It gets out of hand really rapidly. So the official answer is no on that one.
Will Ram release gold lunar dragons?
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say probably.
This late?
But I have
This
no
late in the
idea.
year?
Stranger things have happened, lads.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And the demand would be there, I suspect.
Do we get many coloured coins in from buybacks?
Define many. We get enough that I wanted to
worth
talk
bringing
about
up,
it today. But we don't get it's not like every other one's coloured. They come in batches usually. Somebody will bring in a like they did today. They'll bring in a bag full of them, and we probably won't see any for a couple of days or a week, and then somebody else will bring a bucket load in, and we go from there.
Any tourist recommendations for Perth?
Yeah, Rottnest Island.
Thank you. That's
the
the
Perth Mint.
Oh, you got to do the Perth Mint.
Yeah.
Well worth doing.
Well, I
What
think
else
that's
is
a
there in
question of
Perth?
what else they're doing whilst they're over for the Perth.
Yeah.
Mint,
Well, Rottnest is a big one. What else do you do in Perth? Fremantle, the old
That's
jail.
not in Perth.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump, mate. It's just down the road.
If you're over there,
Yeah, if
There's-
you're already
someone
there,
was
it's-
talking about driving from Sydney.
Yeah, it's not inconceivable that you'd make that half an hour trip.
Kalgoorlie, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Perth.
Yep, we go, have a look at the super pit. But in all seriousness, the old jail is fascinating. You can do a tour there. I did that. It was very spooky.
I got to say, the only time I've been to Perth and not just stayed in the airport, I've gone to the Perth Mint. I've not been to anything else
You
in
haven't
Perth.
lived. We're going to have to go on a tour while we're there, and we're going to need to go check out the factory where they make those chocky bars.
Yeah, absolutely.
A serious
And
manufacturing tour.
And that Italian restaurant that's around the corner from the Perth Mint.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that.
All right, well,
Rapid fire questions.
Yeah, please.
I think this one's tongue in cheek, but I'm after a coloured Queen Lizard coin. Any chance you have any?
Queen Lizard.
Queen Elizabeth.
Oh.
Yeah, there was some in that bag.
Are you guys going to us post to get yourself some Bluey coins next Monday?
No.
That's the silver proof one. After an interstate store update.
Where are they asking from? Tassie?
There was someone asking for Tassie, someone asking for Sydney.
Yeah, I
tell
saw
them.
that earlier.
Don't tell them.
Will there be X-rays on leaving the Perth Mint?
Don't worry. You can. The amount of gold that we've taken out of Perth. Perth's actually the easiest airport to go through because everyone is carrying something from the Perth Mint.
Yeah.
So it's like, just another one. They don't worry about it there.
You kind of laughed before, so I can take a guess, but thoughts about the silver proof coloured Bluey coin next week? Will it be like the Vietnam War coin?
I don't think so.
It'll go off. I know that now because last time I thought Bluey wasn't that popular.
Yeah.
Turns out Bluey's a big deal.
Kind of is.
What an idiot.
Do we ever get
dear.
pre-decimal silver in buybacks, 92%?
No, we sell them separately. We have a pre-decimal listing on the web. when we have it in stock, which isn't all the time, particularly the 92s.
Can you go through the buyback coins in store?
Sometimes, if it's quiet, the boys don't mind bringing some stuff out for you to hunt through. If it's absolute chaos in there, you'll be lucky that I'd throw it at you.
Yeah.
It's not designed around people rummaging through the box and pulling it out, but we know that people like to do that. So where we can, we try and encourage that or allow that. But the short answer is sometimes.
We're almost at the bottom of the list there. Any future Bullion Now Melbourne meet and greets planned?
Yes, and it could be a big one next April, May-ish.
Could be a whopper.
Yeah.
Could be huge.
So just block out April and May in your calendars.
Any Royal Mint coming in?
Could end up being later.
Any Royal Mint coming in?
Yes, hesitatingly.
Given you buy rhodium at 50% of spot, do you ever have buyback specials at closer to that price than actual spot itself?
Believe it or not, we don't get rhodium in as a buyback
It has
very
been a
often.
while.
It's incredibly rare.
And is there
Get into the business end of things.
is there a Silver Stackers meet planned that we know about?
Not that I'm aware of yet.
Are we secretly opening a Perth BN store while we're over there?
Stay tuned.
And on that bombshell, I think we're ending it there.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a blast. And as we always say, this doesn't happen without you guys. It's really pointless. We're just shouting into the wind. So
Yep.
we really do appreciate you tuning in. I really appreciate people coming to the Sydney conference and saying, hey, watch your channel. You know, it's great. It was all sorts of people that stopped by and gave us feedback on it. So a big shout out to everyone that was there for it. A big shout out for the guys in the store and the guys here and at EDC. The fact that they work double time on a Friday allows us the time to step away from what we should be doing to bring this here. So thank you very much to all of the team at Bullion Now, and particularly to the two guys in the room with me, and Lewis, who sits slightly outside the room but looks after everything that is non-YouTube streaming. So a big shout out to all those guys, because if it wasn't for them, there is no way I would have the technical know-how to produce anything like this. So huge thank you. Have a really great and safe weekend, and we will see you back with more carry-on shenanigans and chaos next week.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Maybe from Pakenham.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe. Big maybe.
You have to tune in and see.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
When you want it, get your bullion and you want it now. Click on the link and go to Bullion Now. And only buyback bullion minted in cash balls, low mints, these coins, it's a real cool round. When you want your bullion and you want it now, get yourself down to Bullion Now. When you want your bullion and you want it now, click on the link and go to Bullion Now. Be sure to check the YouTube channel for Friday afternoons, when they're talking bullion-nomics and numismatics too. They'll show and tell you all about it, answer questions too. So click on the link and go to Bullion Now. When you want your bullion and you want it now, get yourself down to Bullion Now. When you want your bullion and you want it now, click on the link and go to Bullion Now. Be sure to check the YouTube channel on Friday afternoons, when they're talking bullion-nomics and numismatics too. There's no